2 fun Energizers for online meetings. I even have my Red Bull for this episode. This video is not sponsored by Red Bull. All right, let's get into it. The 2 Energizers that I'm gonna share, one's called Lean In, Lean Out, and one is called Touch Blue. You're gonna love both of them. They're especially good for groups that know each other decently well, or groups that have gotten to know each other a bit. You can make them work for groups that are meeting for the first time, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend it until you've at least spent a couple hours together as a group. This is not an initial icebreaker exercise for like a virtual conference where people are meeting each other for the very first time. It might be on day 2, a great Energizer to do after lunch though. For me, any activity is just that. It's only an activity. Whether it goes really well and has a positive impact and energizes the group, or whether it stinks and people hate it, is largely dependent on the way that it's framed and the way that it's facilitated. And so before I share the directions for Lean In and Lean Out, here are 3 of my best tips for how to lead really awesome Energizers regardless of what they are. Tip number 1, know your audience. Know your crowd. Oh my goodness, please do not facilitate an exercise that a group is gonna hate because you happen to like the idea, but they don't love it. Know your audience. Maybe even involve them in the choice of what Energizer or what time or what place you do an Energizer, perhaps by asking the group, what do you need right now? Can you just type that into the chat? It's a really great way to take the pulse, and if everybody says movement or conversation or breakout or state change or break or whatever else, you perhaps tie your Energizer into what they need. It's a really great way to meet the audience where they're at. Number 2, and I cannot overstate this enough, state your intention crystal clear. Intentions are one of the most powerful sentences to root out manipulation. When you do an icebreaker or Energizer with a group, you're at high risk of some people feeling like they have to do this, as opposed to, I want everybody to feel like they want to do this. And the best way to do that is to get really crystal clear about your intention, and ideally intentions incorporate the needs of the other in them. And then last, but the opposite of least, challenge by choice. Love this phrase, this concept that I'm gonna invite you to do something, but ultimately you pick your own poison. Choose at what level you want to engage, and perhaps depending on what you're doing in these activities, if you really don't wanna engage or you can't for whatever reason, feel free to turn your camera off and enjoy everybody participating. And I'd be mindful of how I frame that, right? Because I wanna encourage people to stretch outside of where they're comfortable. I don't want people to just take the easy option, and so I wanna challenge them and give them choice. Activity number 1, lean in and lean out. This is a play on an exercise that was introduced to me by Mark Collard, the founder of Plamio, which is the world's largest database of really awesome collaborative learning, experiential Energizers, exercises, trust building activities, etc. And the way that he shared this exercise was jump in, jump out, which is great if you're in person, not so great if you're sitting at a desk on an online Zoom call. And so for this, there's 3 rounds, and you can do even just 1 round or just 2 rounds, and it would serve to energize the group. And if the group's loving it, I have the philosophy, always end the party while it's still fun, but if the group's loving it, you can continue. So what I would invite my group to do is get into gallery view on whatever platform you're on, and simply do what I say as I say it. There's only gonna be a couple simple instructions. We'll practice with the first one. Lean in, lean out. Lean in, lean left, lean right. So in gallery view, this looks awesome. Everybody's moving back and forth, super lovely. So that's round 1, super basic. Lean in, lean out, lean left, lean right. Round 2 is, now do what I say and say what I say. Depending on the size of your group, you might even invite people to come off mute. A little bit of chaoticness, but they're literally just doing what you say and saying what you say. So lean in, lean in, lean in, lean in. You get this little chorus of messy unmutedness. Lean out, lean left, lean right. That's round 2. You've got some voice there. Hearing other people's voices on a Zoom call is remarkably energizing. And so even if it's a little bit chaotic, if you notice that some people have like crazy, terrible background noise, you just go ahead and mute them as a facilitator. You don't need to make a big thing about it and be like, hey Cassandra, your blender is on, and like just boop, hit mute, no worries. So round 3 starts to get a little mind bending. You're going to do the opposite of what I say, but say exactly what I say. So, I'm really bad at this activity. Lean in, right? So I'm saying leaning in, but I'm leaning out. Here's the thing, as you do this and as you just kind of reverse and do the opposite, what it does is force people to use their prefrontal cortex, which uses their brain to think about what's happening. People are gonna go the wrong direction, they're gonna do the wrong things, everybody's gonna be messed up, they'll be thinking about navigating that. That's energizing. The point is not to actually get it right or in synchronicity. If the group's really enjoying this, you could invite them, you could share your screen, actually share Zoom and share gallery view, and give the group the challenge to figure out when I say lean in, all lean the same direction. And the reason that's fun is some people have their cameras mirrored, so when they lean left, to everybody else it looks like they're leaning right, and vice versa. And so if you give the group the challenge of all leaning the same direction for each one, it becomes this like synchronized swimming gallery view, which is kind of fun. And at this point, the party is probably still fun, and so I'd suggest ending it. And if you have a really insane group that is just a sucker for chaos, you could feel free to tell the group to do the opposite of what I say and say the opposite of what I say. So it's both reversed. They're like converting two things at once in their mind. Just create some smiles, some laughter. I would never do this exercise for more than 3 or 5 minutes. Right? Like at that point, the party has happened, people are energized, their blood is moving a little bit, their spine has been loosened up a bit, and so people are energized. Activity number 2, touch blue. I'm just gonna do this. It's so simple. The directions are actually the title of the activity. And so Steven, my lovely camera master, hello Steven, is going to jump in as well. So you might wanna take off headphones for this. It's gonna get chaotic. The exercise is literally, I'm gonna say touch blue, and as soon as I do, actually, can you come here, Steven, for a moment? So people, oh my goodness. Oh, whoa, the man, wow, it's crazy. Vaccinated, by the way. Right. Very excited. So the directions of the activity are in the name. So when I say the name of the activity, we're going to do what I say. Ready? Touch blue. Go, Red Bull. There you go, got it. And here's the thing, so you have the entire group doing this in their virtual context, and you can do any number of actions, and I would do a few as a facilitator, so then you're touching something blue until somebody else gives a new action. So jump. And you continue jumping. Yeah, there you go. So this is why you do a couple practice episodes so that everybody picks up on it. And you continue jumping until somebody says...
lay on the ground.
Oh!
Not good for video.
It's fine for video. You get the idea. So the reason I like this is, one, challenge by choice is important to frame, but it's all peer user generated actions. So as I'm inviting people to go touch blue, I might give a couple simple examples like pick up an object from your desk and hold it to the camera. And people do that until somebody else unmutes and says something else to do. And so you can see even after doing 8 actions, if somebody does something that's like move your arms or rotate, you might even give the group a chance to think creatively. If you've got a group that isn't completely boring, this activity is a blast. Anything above like terrible group of people, this activity is a blast. Because there's gonna be enough people in the group that come up with something unexpected, and spontaneity is energizing. It's unexpected, people don't know what's gonna happen next, and so they're a little bit on the edge of their seat, and being on the edge of your seat is energizing. This was super fun. Not all of my tutorials are so Red Bully. I've got some deep, thoughtful ideas about how to make connection and engagement easy as well, but I also like to share icebreakers and energizers that are really easy for you to pick up, steal, and adapt. Feel free to download the free digital version of the Connection Toolkit at the link below. I'm Chad Littlefield. Lovely hanging out in cyberspace. Have an awesome day.